Hey everyone, welcome back to Little K Artistry. I am Little K, the artist also known as Kristen. Welcome back to my little corner of the art studio. Today I am going to be doing an abstract cellism funnel pour with a little bit of my abstract cellism colors and some abstract cellism cloud mix. Today I am in my studio because I've had a particularly difficult couple of days. I'm sure some of you can relate, and if you know my story or if you read the description for this video, you'll know why that is. I am still recovering from multiple traumas, and this is my therapy. So that is why I am in my studio today. I couldn't think of anything else to do that would bring me the joy that this does. And since I don't see my therapist for several more days, I just needed something to, I don't know, calm my mind and quiet those negative thoughts. So I thought I would come in today and have not done a funnel pour for you all in a little while. I haven't done one for myself either. So I thought today would be a good day. I like the color combination of pink and blue. So today I have selected some pinks and blue paints as well as a couple of the TLP pigments. And if you're not familiar with those they're called This Little Piggy, hence the name TLP. And they are from Fluid Art Co. And if you're interested in any of their pigments, they are beautiful pigments, highly pigmented, very fine pigments, and they are just some of the very best pigments. I do use others. I use Eye Candy pigments as well, and there are a couple of other brands that I'm trying out, but I do love This Little Piggy. They are just beautiful, and they have, oh my goodness, I think they must have over 100 colors now. I haven't counted, but they have quite a few. So today I'm using some tube paints, and actually I'm not sure if any of these are tube. Yes, the Persian Rose, the light pink that I'm using, is a tube paint, but I think all the others are golden fluid acrylics, and those are, as the name suggests, they are fluid. So they're a little runnier than the tube paints, and they are from Golden. So I'm just going to go through, I'll walk you through the colors, and I'm just going to have a little therapy session here in my little art room because I'm feeling a little bit challenged today with my emotions, and I know some of you can probably relate. Normally I'm very upbeat and positive, and today I'm just feeling not quite myself. So a trip to the art room is in order, I thought. And I think it's important too, because I do share my story. I think it's important for you all to know that I'm not always up. It's not always a good day, but coming in my studio can definitely help make things better. So let's see what we can do today. This is just my funnel that I found online. It does have a stopper in it, which I find to be very useful because that way I don't have to keep my finger on the bottom of it. You can just depress the little plunger and it keeps things from coming out. So I'm going to start with my top layer, and this is not Floetrol. This is the top layer from the Abstract Cellism, and this is just the top layer, and it's mixed with the carbon black. I'm putting this in first because I want all the other colors, when they hit the canvas, to be under this top layer. So that's why I put this in first. I'm then going to be layering with some colors. This is TLP's Persephone. It's one of my very favorites. And I'm going to follow that with Quinacridone Magenta, and that is one of the golden fluids. Following this up with one of the new TLPs, Benevolent. It is beautiful, a beautiful blue. And then of course my favorite Prussian blue. And then next to that, I am going to put in a little bit of my Abstract Cellism cloud mix. There we go. And then on top of that, a little bit of the manganese blue. And then that Persian rose that I told you about, that is a tube paint. A little bit more of the Abstract Cellism cloud mix. I'm running low on that. I'm gonna have to mix up some more of my cloud mix, I guess. And then I'm gonna go back with Persephone and quinacridone magenta. Benevolence. And I'm going to end with the Prussian blue. This is probably more paint than I need for this canvas. But again, I haven't done one of these in a little while. So I'm a little eager to get the paints, maybe a little too eager, and get the paints on the canvas tonight. Okay, so I still have the stopper depressed. And what I'm going to do is switch hands real quick. Oh shoot. See, that sometimes happens. And then I'm gonna let the stopper up a little bit so that all those paints will go down, hopefully underneath that black top layer. That wasn't supposed to happen. You know, stuff happens and we just have to go with the flow. Okay, and I'm going to twist this. I'm going to give it a little twist before I pick it up. Okay, twist that just a little bit. Maybe a tiny bit more paint. There we go. I'm seeing some of those clouds coming up. That's wonderful. There's still a little bit of that top layer. Okay, now I've depressed the plunger, so hopefully that won't happen again. Jeepers. Okay, and I'm going to put the rest of this paint along the outside edge here, just so that it's not all just the white on the outside. And as I said, I definitely have more paint than I need on this canvas. That's okay because I can scrape it up and save it for a base layer. This base layer I used was just the titanium white. This is going to be just lovely, I think. Okay, so what we want to do with the cloud, especially a funnel pour, because there's so much paint on here and I want to give that top layer a chance to really do its magic. We're going to wait just a few minutes. There's a couple of bubbles. Not a ton, but because I did bounce the funnel a little bit, it did make a couple of bubbles. And in a cloud pour, the bubbles are good because every time a bubble pops, you get another cloud. And because I use the TLP pigments of Benevolence, which was that beautiful gray blue, and Persephone, which is that gorgeous reddish pink, we're going to have some shimmer. And I can already see some beautiful sparkle. That's another one of the things that I love about the TLP pigments. They have a whole lot of sparkle. They are just beautiful. As I said, I love the combination of pink and blue. And because I use the Prussian blue, the Benevolence, and the Persephone, we're getting a little bit of a purple. Like there's a little tint. You can't see it, I don't think, from the camera angle, but I'll definitely show you once it's dry. the Persephone and the Malevolence are mixing a little bit, and they're making a gorgeous lavender that hopefully will show when it's dry. And you can see while I've been talking and waiting here, all these clouds have formed, and they're bigger now. So one of the reasons why I love the funnel pour with the cloud mix, especially with the Abstract Cellism mix, it's thicker. The other cloud mixes that I do all use the Floetrol mixture, the American Floetrol mixture, and it's thinner. It tends to make the paints a little thinner. Plus, you mix water with it, and this mixture doesn't have any water mixed in, so the paints are nice and thick. So as the clouds are forming, they're forming really slowly, and they're getting nice and puffy because it's slowly spreading. I just love that. Likely we'll spin off most of this color, and hopefully we'll have some good cells that are left. What I'd like to try and do is keep this and spin off all of this, but this part is really glorious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin it slowly a little bit, this first spin, just to see what the composition is going to do. This is very therapeutic. It's very cathartic. And I've said this before, I don't know if I've said it on a video or not, but there's something about, I know you're going to call me crazy, but there is something about the Abstract Cellism mixture, the smell of it. I don't know what it is, but it's very, maybe because I've been doing this for a couple of years, it's very familiar. But the Abstract Cellism mix smell, to me, is very calming and grounding. Doesn't that sound weird? It sounds weird to say that out loud, but just, there's no other way to explain it. It's very calming. So we've got some beautiful blue cells here with stripes. And this gorgeous Persephone on the outside here oh, it's so pretty, you guys. I want to leave it just as it is, but there's way too much paint on this canvas. So I'm going to spin it the other way a little bit. And there's no need to spin crazy fast. I feel like you have more control when you spin slower. So beautiful. Wow, okay, so I don't think I'm going to be able to keep the white. I think that's going to end up spinning off. But I do see a little bit of white in here. On a larger canvas, I would be able to keep more of the white. I don't want the paint to be too thick on this one. Let's spin this a little bit. I'm going to grab a skewer. I just want to test how deep these paints are. And there's still a good amount of paint on the canvas, but I think it will be okay. We'll spin a tiny bit more here, see what happens. I hate to lose that white, but I also don't want to leave too much paint on the canvas because then it might not dry well. And I can see there's more of the cloud mix coming through here. So the oops turned out to be not so bad after all. And what you saw me do at the end when I said I wanted to twist it a little bit, and I was twisting with, I was spinning the funnel just a little bit at the end, was to get this circular rotation. If I had just left it in one space and not moved it, we would have had concentric circles and not the twirl toward the center, but I really like the twirl toward the center, and that's why I typically will twist the funnel just at the very end, right before I'm getting ready to pick it up. I like to twist it a little. I think it makes the composition more interesting. There, this Persephone is, I'm looking at it from my perspective, kind of sideways with the light shining on it. And the whole painting has this gorgeous, let me see if I can show you guys this Persephone close up. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it has it almost looks like a red on the outside, from the outside. But then when you get into really looking at it and see the light shining, it has a pink, like almost a purplish tint. And that is what's showing through all of these colors on this canvas, is that gorgeous, shiny, sparkly purple. It's so pretty. I will definitely show you a close-up of this one. I'm just trying to figure out what the composition is. Guys, I think the white is definitely on the top. So I'm going to bring you guys in closer and show you what it looks like, the wet results, before I take it off my spinner, from a different angle. Okay, in order to show you that purple of the Persephone that I'm talking about, I have to go from a different perspective, and I apologize if there's a reflection of the light, but I want you to see what happens when the light shines on this. Here, let me spin it like this. There we go. See how, see, kind of, it looks red now. Now see how it changes to that beautiful pinkish purple when the light shines on it just right. And the blue, you can see it kind of just looks like a grayish blue. But then when the light shines on it just right, you can see that benevolence. The benevolence and the Persephone kind of playing together right there, especially in the middle. Isn't that gorgeous? This part in particular, right here. So when I move from this way to this, look at that. It just, it's like it's on fire. Isn't that beautiful? And then, especially right here, you can also see it turns into that beautiful pink. See the difference? Isn't that gorgeous? And you can only see it, unfortunately, when the light is behind it. But, and that spot right there, watch what happens when you, okay. Okay, now I'm smiling. That is beautiful. Wow. Benevolence and Persephone look gorgeous together. Now you can see why I wanted you to see that from the other direction, because it looks kind of blah. I mean, it's pretty with the pinks and the blues from your perspective, but when you come down and look at it with the light shining on it in different directions, it's just incredibly stunning. This one is an absolute keeper. I'm so glad I came into my studio tonight. And I'm so glad that you were here to join me. Thank you so much. Not my usual upbeat, happy-go-lucky self, but you know what? I'm not always, and that's okay. I appreciate you being here and sharing this little therapy session. I feel better if you were coming on here to get a little pick-me-up and see something beautiful. I hope it worked. And I really appreciate you subscribing. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. I am trying to get to 5,000. That is my big scary goal. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And again, this is Little K, and I'm reminding you and I'm encouraging you, even when you don't feel like it, go make the art. You'll be glad you did.